know why.
So here's your script. This is the script to the...
Do I need this?
Yeah, because this tells you when to hit go and stop on the
Alright, I'll
on
try
the
to follow.
video.
Okay.
So
I have to make sure the audio is working because I didn't do that. Yep, it's working. All right. What's up?
All right, so what's going to happen is I told her to go to the mics where they're lit up over there, so she'll be on camera.
Oh,
So
okay.
the sequence is basically light up Amanda, but the first thing that happens, they sit down, I'll kill all the house lights, and we got to play the video.
Okay.
So you'll basically go to Amanda and then go to video.
Yeah.
Hit play, and you got to make sure that you stop it when they say, writing her memoirs. Stop and then switch back to the camera. Okay?
Well, I'll be listening to your audio. Speaking of,
No, yeah.
turn that on.
Yes. But yes, you'll be listening to my audio.
But I'll assume that we're synced up.
It'll probably be playing through here as well. You'll probably hear it on
Out of
here.
the laptop?
No, you won't actually. You won't. Because it's going through YouTube.
It's going through YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to make sure that while it's playing that we're hearing it, in fact, through YouTube.
Yeah.
Even though I did that yesterday. Like I said, I did all this yesterday,
Yeah.
which is why I wasn't prepared for the Windows debacle because I was on this.
Well, now you know for the future. Yeah.
I should just know when something comes in and it's an Apple product that I'm going to have problems in one way or another.
You already do know that.
Oh, I hate it. All right, so that's where we're
You
at.
should just buy all Apple products.
Yeah, I should give in. Give in. Android Windows for life.
Yeah, they do be like that. Is it love? Is it love? Is it love? Yeah, if I could afford it. Should.
You pour a glass of sparkling water and add raisins. Even though raisins are more dense than the water, bubbles form on the raisins, which pull them up to the surface.
Of course.
Then the bubbles are released at the surface, and the raisins fall again. The cycle continues, making a 3 videos now. Pause to vote in the comments which one you thought was fake. The battery with magnets does actually shoot with a copper coil. Adding magnets to both ends extend the positive and negative terminals of the battery. If you connected the 2 terminals with a conductive wire, the circuit would be complete and current would flow. That's what's happening when it's in the copper coil. When current flows through a coil in this direction, it produces a magnetic field like the one shown here, with the north and south poles marked accordingly. To make it easier to see how the battery moves, I'll represent the magnetic field produced from current running through the coil as a magnet. I just place both magnets with the north pole facing the same direction. The battery won't move, as you can see here. Since north and south poles of magnets attract, you can see that both magnets on the ends of the battery are pulled toward the center and the forces cancel out. However, if I flip one of the magnets and therefore reverse the polarity, this would work. The south pole of the flip magnet is now repelled away from the middle magnetic field, which means the net force is now pointing in a single direction, and the battery will move through the coil that way. If you flip the front magnet instead, you get the same thing, which means this video is fake. The whole thing was put in reverse, but I tried to add normal sounding audio. Next up, it's time for round 2. If you pour out most of the contents of the can, you can have just the right amount of liquid such that the can will balance on its side, just like this.
Of course.
If you hang a weight from 2 strings with different lengths that are tied at the same height, each string supports half the weight of the other.
Not true. Which one has more weight? Not true at all. I think the shorter one has more weight. That's got more that way for us.
Ignore any small effect from friction of the weight touching the wall. A small motor like this can be powered by batteries to make it spin. However, a motor uses the same principle as a generator. So if I instead hook this motor up to an LED, I can spin the motor to make it act like a generator and light up the LED green.
Of course.
You've seen all 3 videos now. Pause to vote in the comments which one you thought was fake. This can balancer and a motor that means this video was fake. 2 unequal length strings do not carry the same load. To see why without doing any calculations, imagine that both forces were the same, and therefore the vectors would be the same size. You know that the 5-pound weight isn't moving to the left or the right, which means the forces acting in the horizontal direction must be balanced. If you visualize the only 2 forces acting in the horizontal direction, you'd see that they would not balance. The only scenario where the tension in each string could be the same is if the strings were the same length. Then the forces in the x direction would balance. Now it's time for the final round. This is an anti-gravity humidifier. This device uses a strong vacuum pump to suck water up from the water reservoir. And the way it's able to do so slowly and a single drop at a time is what makes it look so cool.
No.
A piece of plastic shaped like this can create the illusion of a hologram by placing it on top of your phone and playing a holographic video from YouTube. You're stranded and need to make a fire with a battery and a gum wrapper, you're in luck. A gum wrapper like this one conducts electricity. You rip off some of the wrapper to make a thinner strip. This thin part has a high enough resistance to generate enough.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Good, good. I'd like to welcome you all here to the Gene Rimsky Theater, and I'd also like to welcome the folks at home watching on live stream. My name is Amanda Kowalczyk. I'm the Manager of Community Affairs, and I'm very happy to be with you all today. For today's program, we are pleased to welcome Patricia Shih, accompanied by Stephen Fricker. They will be presenting the multimedia program, Songbirds, Women in Folk. Patricia is a landmark regular, and this marks her 6th performance at the theater. She has 9 albums and 2 books about music, all of which will be available for purchase and signing after the show. I would like to extend a warm thank you to our sponsor, New York State Council on the Arts. A special thanks to Serendipity for their generous tea donation, and thank you to Stop and Shop for donating their delicious cookies. Now, please give a warm welcome to Patricia and Stephen. Enjoy the show.
American folk music has long followed a path of the minstrel, with singers often having their roots in traditional music, but finding new ways of expression to expand the genre. Role models Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie, considered to be the grandfathers of modern-day folk music, influenced the lives and work of all other folk singers who have come after them, as you will see. But women have also lent their unique talents and perspectives. Strong and committed female artists have helped spawn new generations of singers and songwriters such as Jewel, Suzanne Vega, Adele, Norah Jones, and many more. There have been so many wonderful women from the past to whom we today and tomorrow owe a huge debt of gratitude. June Carter Cash from the Carter family, Elizabeth Cotton, Odetta, Jean Ritchie, Buffy St. Marie, Janice Ian, Emmylou Harris, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Malvina Reynolds, and so many more. But there have been 5 pioneers who have been special role models for hundreds, if not thousands, of women singer-songwriters worldwide today, including myself. These 5 started with traditional music, then went on to carve special niches for themselves, also helping to grow folk music by introducing future talented artists to the world. Let's visit these giants of the folk world. Ronnie Gilbert formed The Weavers in 1947 with Pete Seeger, Lee Hayes, and Fred Hellerman. Together, they pioneered early contemporary folk music with songs like Weemaway, Zaina Zaina Zaina, and Guantanamera, to classic comforting standards like On Top of Old Smoky, to idealistic social commentary like This Land Is Your Land, and If I Had a Hammer. Despite the group's commercial popularity and selling millions of records, the politically aware Weavers were blacklisted during the anti-communist hysteria of the McCarthy era. With the Weavers unable to tour, Ronnie moved toward a solo career as a singer and actress in the early 60s, recording albums and appearing in plays off and on Broadway. Ronnie has also performed an autobiographical talk and concert called Ronnie Gilbert, A Radical Life with Songs, for cross-generational communities. She has teamed up with one of the founders of the women's music world, Holly Near, recording on Holly's record label for 3 albums. Later, she and Holly, along with Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie's son Arlo, formed the group Harp, which toured and recorded. She continues her commitment to feminism and global peace activism, and she is at work writing her memoirs.
Good afternoon, everyone. The video was made, that projected video, was made a few years ago, so I want to update you a little bit. Unfortunately, Ronnie Gilbert died in June 6, 2015. She was 88 years old. Anyway, we're going to open with a song that I hope all of you know already, Goodnight Irene. Yes? Nobody really knows who wrote it, but it was first recorded by a man named Judy Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly. He wrote it, recorded it first in 1933, and then the Weavers recorded it in 1950. It stayed on the charts for 25 weeks, reaching #1 for the Weavers. The song was the basis for the 1950 parody called Please Say Goodnight to the Guy Irene by Ziggy Talent. It also inspired the 1954 answer record, Wake Up Irene by Hank Thompson, which reached #1 on the Billboard country charts. So you know it, I'm sure you do. Sing along. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
Saturday night I got married.
Yes, we did.
Me and my wife settled down.
We did that too.
Now me and my wife are parted.
We are?
Gonna take another stroll downtown.
Sing with us. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Well, sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I take a great notion to jump into the river and drown. Another happy folk song. Irene, good night.
Irene,
Good night.
good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams.
She caused me to weep.
I did not.
She caused me to
I
moan.
did not.
She caused me to leave my home.
You left on your own.
But the very last words I heard her say were,
Please sing me one more song. Everybody.
Irene, good night.
Let me hear you.
Irene, good night.
Nice.
Good night,
Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Well, if you'd stop your rambling, stop your gambling, stop staying out late at night, go home to your wife and family, stay there by your fireside right. Last time, sing it out. Irene, good night. Irene, good night.
Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene.
I'll fuck with it.
I'll see you in my dreams. Bravo. All right, so we want to do another Weavers tune. Perhaps you know this one. Kisses Sweeter Than Wine. Cool, okay. Again, nobody really knows the origin of this, although some people suspect it was an old Irish song called Drimmin' Down. It was about a farmer and his dead cow. So Lee Hayes and Pete Seeger figured they better write new lyrics to this song. So Lee Hayes wrote new lyrics to the verse, and Pete Seeger wrote 2 new words to the chorus. Now what's so peculiar is that the chorus only has 4 words. So I don't know which 2 words Pete attributed. So maybe you can guess. Okay. Aha.
Thank you.
Here are your 4 words. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. That's all it is. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine.
When I was a young man and never been kissed, I got to thinking over what I had missed. I got me a girl, I kissed her and then, oh Lord, I kissed her again.
Your part.
Oh,
Kisses sweeter than wine. Do it again. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. He asked me would I marry and be his sweet wife, and we would be so happy. sweeter than wine. Try with harmonies. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine.
I worked mighty hard, and so did my wife, working hand in hand to make a good life. With corn in the field and wheat in the bin. Then, oh Lord, was the father of twins. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine.
You sing it all by yourselves.
Oh, kisses sweeter.
Now this next verse has a little problematic first line. I want you to listen very carefully to this first line and see if you can figure out what the problem is, okay? Here we go. Our children numbered just about 4. Give you a hint. Just about 4? Don't you know how many kids you have? They all had sweethearts knocking at the door. They all got married and they didn't hesitate. I was, oh Lord, the grandmother of 8.
Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine.
Now we are old and ready to go. We get to thinking what happened a long time ago. Had a lot of for trouble and pain, but oh Lord, we do it again. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Do it again. Oh, kisses sweeter than wine. Last time. Let me hear you. Kisses sweeter than wine.
Joan Baez is considered by many to be the queen of American folk music. As an 18-year-old introduced on stage at the first Newport Folk Festival in 1959, her repertoire reflected a different sensibility from her peers, acknowledging the human condition in her choice of traditional songs. She recorded her first solo LP for Vanguard Records in the summer of 1960. Her earliest records had a mix of traditional ballads and blues, lullabies, Carter family songs, Weavers and Woody Guthrie songs, cowboy tunes, ethnic folk staples, and much more.
In
1963, Joan introduced Bob Dylan to a wider audience, began touring with him, and recorded his songs, a bond that came to symbolize the folk music movement for the next 2 years. At the same time, Joan began her lifelong role of introducing songs from a host of other contemporary singer-songwriters, starting with Phil Oakes, Richard Farina, Leonard Cohen, Tim Hardin, Dar Williams, and others. Following in the footsteps of such models as Pete Seeger, Joan has been a passionate activist, always at the front of picket lines, rallies, demonstrations, and fundraisers, and she continues to be a symbol and role model of the socially conscious and activist musician. In 2007, she received the Grammy's Lifetime Achievement Award, the greatest honor that the National Academy of Recording Artists can bestow.
This song was written by a man named Ronnie Robertson, and he was part of the band. That's the name of the band, The Band. And they were Bob Dylan's backup band way back when. Robbie Robertson wrote this song in I don't know when it was, but they recorded it in 1969, but it was Joan who had the hit with it rose to #3 on the Billboard charts in 1971. It was the highest charting single of her entire career. Now, Joan unfortunately misheard the lyrics when she was learning it, and so it does not match the original. But you know, we just, here in the folk world, we just call that the folk process. Once again, you are welcome to sing along. Virgil Kane is my name, and I drove on the Danville train till so much cavalry came and tore up the tracks again. In the winter of '65, we were hungry, just barely alive. I took the train to Richmond and fell. It was a time I remember oh so well. Here's the chorus. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the people were singing. They went na 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 na. Back with my wife in Tennessee, and one day she said to me, Virgil, quick, come see, there goes the Robert E. Lee. Now I don't mind 'em chopping wood, and I don't care if the money's no good. Just take what you need and leave the rest. But they should never have taken the very best. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the bells were ringing.
The night they drove old Dixie down,
And all the people were singing. They went na 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 na. Like my father before me, I'm a working man. And like my brother before me, I took a rebel stand. Well, he was just 18, proud and brave, but a Yankee laid him in his grave. I swear by the blood below my feet, you can't raise a cane back up when he's in defeat. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and all the people were singing. They went na 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 na. Thank you. I forgot to mention that it was kind of a peculiar thing that Robbie Robertson chose to write that song from the perspective of a poor working family in the Confederacy during the Civil War. So it was an interesting choice that Joan made to sing that song. Now, Joan Baez was not known as a songwriter. She was a singer, an interpreter of songs, other people's songs, but she did write a few, and probably her best-known song is the one I'm going to do next, Diamonds and Rust. Now, you noticed in the video that it was Joan who introduced Bob Dylan to the wider world at the Newport Folk Festival. A lot of singers, folk singers in particular, would often try and raise the profile of the songwriters that they admired, and that's what Joan did for Bob Dylan. So also like Carly Simon's You're So Vain, do you know that song? There's a big, everybody wants to know who that song was written about. Likewise, people, do you know? maybe, right? But everybody wanted to know what this song, Diamonds and Rust, who it was written about. And, we all have a pretty good idea. And Bob Dylan, in fact, asked Joan who this song was written for and about. But Joan did not want to admit that it was written about him. So she told him that she wrote it about her ex-husband, David Harris. This did reach the top 40 for Joan. Oops. Thank you. So if you listen carefully to the words, and you know anything about Joan Baez's romance with Bob Dylan, it's clearly Bob. Just that the moon is full and you happened to call. And here I sit and on the telephone hearing a voice I've known a couple of light years ago, heading straight for a fall. I remember your eyes were bluer than robin's eggs. My poetry was lousy, you said. Where are you calling from? A booth in the Midwest. 10 years ago, I bought you some cufflinks. You brought me something. We both know what memories can bring. They bring diamonds and rust. On the scene, already a legend, the unwashed phenomenon, the original vagabond. You strayed into my arms, and there you stayed, temporarily lost at sea. The Madonna was yours for free. Yes, the girl on the half shell could keep you unharmed. Now I see you standing with brown leaves falling all around, snow in your hair. Now you're smiling out the window of that crummy hotel over Washington Square. Our breath comes out, white clouds mingles and hangs in the air. Speaking strictly for me, we both could have died give me another word for it. You were so good with words and at keeping things vague. 'Cause I need some of that vagueness now. It's all come back too clearly. Yes, I loved you dearly. And if you're offering me diamonds and rust, I'll take the diamonds.
Mary Travers started as a backup singer on Pete Seeger albums, but Pete's manager at the time, Albert Grossman, put Mary together with Noel Paul Stookey and Peter Yarrow in 1961 to form one of the biggest and best-loved groups in folk music to this day. Growing up in New York City's Greenwich Village, Mary was exposed at an early age to this kind of music and became directly involved in it during what was then jokingly called the Great Folk Scare. Along with Baez, Dylan, Odetta, and other folk artists, the trio performed at the 1963 March on Washington, where Martin Luther King Jr. made his famous I Have a Dream speech. Their version of Blowing in the Wind became the fastest-selling single of all time for Warner Brothers. In 1970, the trio split up and each recorded solo albums, then reformed in 1978. The trio has won 5 Grammys. Just as Baez had done for Dylan, Peter, Paul, and Mary helped John Denver by recording Leaving on a Jet Plane in 1969. On Mary's solo albums, she continued to sing many of Denver's best compositions. In 2005, tragedy struck when she was diagnosed with leukemia. That year, she received a bone marrow transplant, yet continued to tour. But on September 16, 2009, at the age of 72, she succumbed to complications from chemotherapy.
Has introduced Bob Dylan to the greater world, and Peter, Paul, and Mary did the same thing for John Denver, who was at the time relatively unknown. But they saw his potential as a songwriter, not even a potential, they saw his fully realized capabilities as a songwriter. So he wrote the song in 1966, and believe it or not, it was the only #1 hit for Peter, Paul, and Mary. As popular as they were at that time, they only had that one hit. Now, John Denver originally entitled this song, Babe, I Hate to Go. He was, again, an unknown, so he paid with his own money to produce his first album, which was called John Denver Sings. And kind of ironically, he became a big star later on. This song was used by United Airlines in commercials in the 1970s. So I'm sure he earned a pretty penny from that. Okay, so I know you know the song. Please sing along. All my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The tractor's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could cry. one more time. Let me kiss you, then close your eyes. I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come when I won't have to leave alone. About the time I won't have to say. I don't know how many of you know that John Denver also sang with the New Christy Minstrels. Was that right? Or no?
I think it was the New Christy Minstrels.
No, it was something else. Chad Mitchell Trio.
Oh, okay.
Chad Mitchell Trio. So we were both wrong. Anyway, this next song, again, Mary Travers in particular loved John Denver's writing so much that I believe she made a whole album of just John Denver songs. And this song is called For Baby. However, it was originally written by John Denver for an ex-girlfriend, and her name was Bobby. So originally the title was For Bobby. Well, when Mary got a hold of it, she wanted to write it, she wanted to sing it for her daughter, Erica. So she took the liberty of changing the title, I assume, with John Denver's blessing, and she changed the title to For Baby. Now, I saw Peter, Paul, and Mary once at, what was it called? The Westbury Music Fair. Back then, that's what it was called. And she was a grandmother by then. And like most grandmothers, she was very proud to carry her the pictures of her grandchildren with her at all times. So I decided, you know, that's a nice practice. I'm going to do that. So here's my only grandson. His name is Callum Axel Graz. Is still Callum Axel Graz. Okay. And he actually made his stage debut when he was 2 hours old, because we were playing at the Suffolk Theater opening for Peter Yarrow, and I had the projectionist project 2 hour old picture of Callum on the back wall. So, okay. For Baby. To help you understand, I'll love you more than anybody can. And the wind will whisper your name to me, Callum. Little birds will sing along in time. The leaves will bow down when you reflection of the love in your eyes. And I'll sing you the songs of the rainbow, whisper of the joy that is mine. The leaves will bow down when you walk by, and morning bells will chime. All yours. Mr. Stephen Fricker. Do 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 do. The leaves will bow down when you walk by, and morning bells will chime.
As a young girl, Judy Collins studied classical piano with Antonia Bricco, who took a dim view of Judy's developing interest in folk music, which led Judy to the difficult decision to discontinue her piano lessons. Years later, when Judy had become internationally known through her music, she invited Bricco to one of her concerts in Denver. When they met after the performance, Bricco took both of Collins's hands in hers, looked wistfully at her fingers, and said, "Little Judy, you really could have gone places." Once again, it was the music of Woody Guthrie and Pete Seeger and the traditional songs of the folk revival of the early 60s that piqued Collins's interest and awoke in her a love of lyrics. Soon she began playing guitar, and like so many of her contemporaries, at first sang traditional folk songs or songs written by others, in particular the protest poets of the time, such as Tom Paxton, Phil Oakes, and Bob Dylan. Collins was also instrumental in bringing little-known musicians to a wider public. For example, she recorded songs by Canadians Leonard Cohen, Ian Tyson, and Joni Mitchell, along with Americans Eric Anderson, Randy Newman, and Richard Farina, long before they gained international acclaim. Judy was one of the first of the folkies to record art songs by composers such as Jacques Brel and Kurt Weill. She received a Grammy Award for her recording of Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now, and again for Stephen Sondheim's Send in the Clowns.
Are we a pair?
And as I've been saying all along, folk artists in particular are very generous about helping other songwriters that they admire. So Joan helped Bob, and Peter, Paul, and Mary helped John Denver, and Judy Collins helped Joni Mitchell, who was relatively unknown. So Joni wrote this song while she was on a plane, flying somewhere, and she looked out the window and looked down at clouds. Anybody know what the song is going to be? That's right. She wrote it in 1967, but it was Judy who recorded it first, the same year, in 1967. And it became a #3 hit for her, and she won her Grammy for it. Now, the video is wrong. I found out that Judy has only won one Grammy. And the other one that she was involved with that she sang was the next song that I'm going to do. but she didn't win it. She went to the Grammy Awards and she accepted it for the songwriter. Anyway, this is Both Sides Now. Are we start together? Oh, sorry. Bows and bows of angel hair and ice cream castles in the air and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel when every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds, I've looked at life that way, but now friends are acting strange. They shake their hands, they say how changed. Well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. I've looked at life on both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all, at all, at all. Another big hit for Judy. This was written by Stephen Sondheim in 1971. Can't read my own handwriting. It was recorded by Judy Collins in 1975, and it became a number 19 hit for her in 1977, 2 years later. Now, it was Stephen Sondheim who won the Grammy, and it was the first, and I believe only up until recently, only song from musical theater to ever win Song of the Year, which is a songwriter's prize. So he couldn't be there for some reason, so Judy, who sang it and got the hit with it, went to the Grammys and accepted the award. She did not win the award, so she accepted it on the Stephen Sondheim's behalf. She did get 7 nominations for her recordings and only won once for the Both Sides Now. So I have to tell you, I am really nervous about this because I have a lot of nerves singing this song after Judy did it and made a big hit of it. Okay, I hope you like it. Send in the Clowns. Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clouds? Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Just when I'd stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines. No one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next
Weavers in 1947 with Pete Seeger, Lee Hayes, and Fred Hellerman. Together, they pioneered early contemporary folk music with songs like Weemaway, Zena Zena Zena, and Guantanamera. was born and raised in Canada. She started as a painter, but an influential teacher steered her toward writing. Her first instrument was the ukulele. Then she taught herself to play guitar from a Pete Seeger book. As a child, she contracted polio, which later limited her playing and led her to invent unusual tunings that have become her trademark and affected her songwriting, making her stand out from others. Her songs were discovered and recorded by Tom Rush, Judy Collins, David Crosby, and many other stars on the folk circuit. Soon, her own star began to rise. Her experimenting nature had her leaving the more traditional folk-based songwriting and led her into jazz, rock, electronic, and pop music. Her starkly personal 1971 recording, Blue, has been called one of the best albums ever made.
This song she wrote when she lived in an apartment in the Chelsea district of New York City. Now, much of the imagery in this particular song really reflects who she really feels that she is. She considers herself a visual artist first and a musician and a songwriter second. This song reached number 25 for Judy Collins again with Judy's version. And as an aside, Chelsea Clinton was named after this song. And Judy sang it at Bill Clinton's 1993 inauguration. Now, unfortunately, Joni Mitchell had a brain aneurysm in 2015, which nearly killed her. And presently, she is suffering from Morgellons syndrome, which is, I don't know what it is, but anyway, it's really slowed her down quite a bit. But in the tradition of folk artists, Brandi Carlile, if you've ever heard of her, persuaded Joni Mitchell to come back to the Newport Folk Festival and sing again. So now that got Joni all excited. So now she's back on stage, so bravo, Joni. Yeah. Okay, Chelsea Morning, here we go.
And the first thing that I heard was a song outside my window, and the traffic wrote the words. It came a-ringing up like Christmas bells, wrapping up like pipes and drums. Oh, won't you stay? We'll put on the day, and we'll wear it till the night comes. It was a Chelsea morning, and the first thing that I saw was the sun through yellow curtains and a rainbow on my wall. Blue, red, green, and gold to welcome you, crimson crystal beads to beckon. Oh, won't you stay? We'll put on the day. There's a sun show every second. A portrait of today, and the streets are paved with passers-by, and pigeons fly, and papers lie, waiting to blow away. Woke up, it was a Chelsea morning, and the first thing that I knew, there was milk and toast and honey, and a bowl of oranges too, and the sun poured in like butterscotch, stuck to all my senses. Oh, won't you stay? We'll put on the day, and we'll talk in present tenses. Now the curtain closes, and the rainbow runs away. I will bring you incense owls by night, by candlelight, by jewel light, if only you will stay. Pretty baby, won't you wake up? It's a Chelsea morning. that song. And this is probably one of Joni's best-known songs. I should say, too, going back to Stephen Sondheim, I forgot to mention, did you know, and I bet you do, because you're a very knowledgeable audience, that Stephen Sondheim wrote the lyrics to West Side Story, and Leonard Bernstein wrote the music, but that song, Send in the Clowns, came from A Little Night Music. So forgive me for forgetting that. Anyway, Joni Mitchell wrote this next song in 1970, and nobody can really introduce the song better than she can. So I'm going to read her quote, her introduction. She says, "I wrote Big Yellow Taxi on my first trip to Hawaii. I took a taxi to the hotel, and I woke up the next morning. I threw back the curtains and saw these beautiful green mountains in the distance. Then I looked down, and there was a parking lot as far as the eye could see, and it broke my heart. This blight on paradise. That's when I sat down and wrote this song." Now, there is a very fun part for you to sing. It's the shoo-wop chorus. If you know this song, you just have to learn shoo-bop-bop-bop. Okay, can we try that? Shoo-bop-bop-bop.
Shoo-bop-bop-bop.
Okay, now the only tricky part is that sometimes you sing it twice, and sometimes you only sing it once, and you'll know which it is by my hand signals. And Stephen is going to be the leader of the shoo-wop chorus. Okay, so here we go. Big Yellow Taxi. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Took all the trees, put them in a tree museum. And they charge the people $25 just to see 'em. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away that DDT now. And they did. Give me spots on my apples, but give me the birds and the bees. Please, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. But late last night, I heard the screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. They pay paradise, put up a parking lot. Oh no, you can actually leave the up. And in fact, can you bring the house lights up just a teeny bit? I'm going to see who I'm singing to. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. Yeah, oh, this is wonderful. And you're so beautiful. And you sing so beautifully. Thank you so much for joining me in song. Well, that's the end of that formal part of the presentation. But before I close with one last song, I have a lot of thank yous I have to make. First and foremost, I have to thank Amanda Kowalczyk, who is the manager of, there she is, and she's the one serving the tea and the cookies. Thank you, Amanda. You are terrific. And in the
light and projection booth. Please give a hand to Sean Perry. Woohoo! Thank you, Sean. And back in sound, if you like the way we sounded, please thank Dante Bombardier. Thank you, Dante, back there at the soundboard. But most of all, we want to thank you for coming out on such a beautiful day. When you could have gone out, after all this rain, you could have gone out and had fun. Anyway, I'd like to close with this one last song. This is a traditional old Irish tune that I wrote. Okay. And once again, I would like you to join me in singing this song, and it's very easy. All you have to do is echo the last line of every verse, and I'll give you a prompt for that. This song is called, should I tell them what's the title? The title of the song, please don't be offended, gentlemen, When Women Run the World. Okay, here we go. You want to go on the road with me? I'll be the straight man. When women finally run the world will run much better. There won't be any lines to the ladies' room and theaters, 'cause architects will realize we take a week longer. We'll stand up for our need to sit when women run the world. We'll stand up for our need to sit when women run the world. Easy, right? And if you want, you can follow my hand movements. It's fun. I do this, well, no, I don't do this song with kindergartners, but I do other songs, and they're very good about repeating my hand movements. So let's see how good you are. Okay, here we go. Oh, boxing, wars, and football will be outlawed right away, and injuring each other will be thankfully passé. The only legal way to beat the crap out of each other is a round or two of pillow fights when women run the world. A round or two of pillow fights when women run the world. Very nice. Money will be spent on bread and schools and art and more, and gardens bloom where there were bombs and toxic spills before. Not a penny will be spent to anybody's detriment. Hooray, we'll all go shopping when women run the world. Hooray, we'll all go shopping when women run the world. Now TV shows and films will be noble things to make. No naked, writhing bodies. Well, maybe for art's sake. No crashes, blood explosions, no gore in every scene. Our kids will witness better things when women run the world. Our kids will witness better things when women run the world. Thank you. Imagine such a magic world where toilet seats are down and children have enough to eat all the world around, where medicines, not guns, are cheap and plentiful for all. Just nurturing in gentleness when women run the world. Nurturing in gentleness when women run the world. Cars will go at normal speeds and road rage will expire. Accessories for autos won't include humongous tires. We'll stop and ask directions whenever we are lost. This finger is for wearing rings when women run the world. This finger is for wearing rings when women run the world. So raise your glasses, toast the lasses, storm the backroom bars, make violence extinct, stamp out stinky cigars. Equal pay for equal work, a cleaner world for all. Bubble baths for everyone when women run the world. Oh, bubble baths for everyone when women run the world. Oh, bubble baths for everyone when women run the world. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Patricia and Stephen, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Maybe like one or two.
Okay.
20 after almost.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we started.
Yeah.
We're allowed to do a Q&A. I'm allowed to do take one or two questions. Anybody have any questions about the show? Any part of it at all? Oh, well, we'll end soon. Oh, thank you. So we'll end right on time, or a little bit late. Please join me at the table. I would love to say hello to you. Oh, sorry. Over there. Yes, it's recorded, and the lyrics are in the CD. So thank you all for coming out.
Thank you guys for being here today. Please join us on October 11th for our next tea. Have a great day.